What's going on, you guys? Optical 20 here for a video review from Hot Toys. This one's gonna be a throwback toys. There's really not much going on, and my pre-orders are not here yet because I don't import them from Hong Kong. So I'm patiently waiting for my homecoming Spider-Man. In the meantime, I'm gonna just take a quick look at the new Goblin. This has been released ages ago, but you know, it's on my archives. Never really wanted to release it, but I was like, yeah, you know what, there's nothing going on. I'm still waiting for Spider-Man. I'm really excited, so why not you know, review one of his nemesis. But this is from an older movie, from Spider-Man 3, as you know. So this is the new Goblin. This is James Franco. As you can see here, this is an really one of those old Hot Toys. The packaging is quite well. They've been pretty creative back then, not just a box. As you can see there's like his mask and some effects, you know, some kind of like imitating his mask. So the part where the goggles are at are plastic, so it's a bit shiny and reflective. And inside the box as well, as you can see, that's the inlay. This is the time where Hot Toys actually included a lot of accessories. In this particular case, not a lot of hands, but kind of reminds me of the release. And this was pretty cheap back then. This was kind of reminds me of the Star-Lord figure. It comes with 2 head sculpts, which is pretty rare nowadays. You can see it. I mean, every once in a while you'll see it in a good release like Spider-Man and Star-Lord, but for the most part, you know, they don't. Back in the day, you pretty much get 2 head sculpts all the time. But this guy right here, not only does he come with a head sculpt, but I think in this release, he's the first one to actually use the dynamic base. And he doesn't come with this bendable metallic stand. It comes with a clear plastic stand, but he's the first one who used kind of like the triangular dynamic base as we know now. As you can see here, he got a bunch of accessories as well. This is the some grenades that he does have. You saw earlier, that's kind of some, I don't know, some blades that you attach to his forearms. For the record, I don't have this figure anymore. I sold this a while ago. And there's a bunch that I shot, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to. They're older. No one's gonna watch them. Like I said, I got nothing to review for you guys, so I'm sorry. I'll have to go back to my archives. I do have a lot of pre-orders though, so I'm just waiting for them to be released. He has some, I don't know what you call this, knives, swords. He got a short one and also a long one that goes in his back. The short one, I believe he just holds this. I don't think there's a sheath for it. I could be wrong. You know, I'm doing this on the fly too. I forgot what he actually comes with. But the details on the figures. Oh, he comes with 3 swords actually. This is the long one, and there's like 2 short ones right there. You can see there's some nice details on the handle, and it's not die cast. It's just plastic. There you go. But it's still, it gives you the impression that it is die cast. You know, with this kind of situation, I don't really care for die cast, or not even with swords. Yeah, I guess it's just heavier, and sometimes it just puts stress on the figure itself. The biggest accessory that this guy have, and the most impressive one, is this. I don't know how you call this. He looks like a guy like playing from the X games. Really, the design of new Goblin. But you can see there's a lot of details in his hoverboard, maybe, or flying board. I don't know. It's been a while. So yeah, there's a lot of details in it. It even has its own stand. As you can see here, it has a transparent stand that you can kind of attach here. And at the bottom, I would say that's the engine, so you can move it around. It's quite sharp as well, so you got to be careful when handling them. And also, as you can see there, I believe that's where the battery goes. This, guys, doesn't spin. I mean, you could spin it manually, but it doesn't spin when you turn on the battery. However, it does have a light that shines down on it. I'm watching too much Down by the Bay. Uh, so it has a light. The green, it has this green shade on it. So when you open it up, the batteries here been forever, so it's not that bright on mine. But yeah, it's still pretty impressive, you know, for what it comes and how much it was back then. I can't even remember how much this was, but nowadays you can see the stand. And two head sculpt, one unmasked, which is not the best one. Back in the day, Hot Toys does some, and I was already impressed back then. I guess my first Hot Toys was Christopher Reeves, but my second one was Joker MMS 68, and I was thoroughly impressed by then. You know, obviously they've come a long way, but you know, back then it was pretty impressive. You know, and the costume that he does have is well, it's not Hot Toys' fault, but it's a bit of I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the costume. Like I said, it looks like he's gonna play for the X Games, but it was. I thought it was highly a good design by Hot Toys. You know, it's he can move around. There's a few restrictions because of the suit, but not so much because the fabric that they use. It's not something that goes back, you know, kind of like not rubberized like Batman or so. So it's fabric. So there is some restriction, but not too much. So you can see there on his forearm, you can attach this, I don't know, hooks, or I don't know how you call them, blades or whatever it is on his forearm. So you can attach him there. All of them if you want to. You just got to be careful because sometimes they slide out and you might drop one or two. They're really tiny, so you got to be careful with them. If you're just playing them, you know, you might shake them, pick them up. Okay, so there's the sheath for the small dagger that he does have. There you go. You put him on his side. I know for the larger one, you can put him on his back. So that one I do remember. See, there's nice texture all over this figure. His suit, because it's black, it's like a dust magnet though. So be ready for some lint roller, especially if you're displaying him outside. You can clearly see now at the bottom of his pants right there. So if you're not displaying him inside a glass case, you know, you might want to occasionally, you know, dust him off or so. On the back, yeah, still a pretty good details. You can see there's the sheath on for his dagger on the back. This little things, hook thingies, I don't know what you call them, but yeah, they can deattach. Why would you do that? I don't know, but if you want to have him a different look, I guess you could. Okay, I might be wrong. This might be for the medium dagger. He has three swords, one huge sword and maybe like one medium and one really small knife. And as you can see here, I'm just trying to I guess show off that you can remove that. On his elbow pads, you maintain that shiny reflective plastic material, but it's not fixed to his elbow, so it's not like gonna hinder his articulation for his elbow. So you can move it up and down if needed be, you know, for posing options. And for hands, I chose the one that's kind of like open palm, so you can have him hold a grenade, throw it, or the his daggers. And as far as the head sculpt, this would, if I still had a figure, this would be my go-to head sculpt because it doesn't show his face. And in my opinion, it's more of a badass look for him. Kind of reminds me of Winter Soldier from the Winter Soldier, not the one from Civil War, where he does have the two head sculpt. Not because Winter Soldier's face was kind of weak back then, but it just looks more badass. In this case, it's both. He looks more mean. He looks more of a villain with this mask. You know, if I'm gonna put him some different lights in here, and also you can hide the fact that the other head sculpt, which is this one, doesn't necessarily look like James Franco. It's a pretty good head sculpt. Don't get me wrong. It's nice paint application. You know, he got some chiseled jaw as well. Good looking man, but doesn't look like James Franco. But even though the younger James Franco we're talking about here, yeah, it would pass, you know, back in the day. Yeah, but nowadays, if you show it to anyone who hasn't, you know, who's not collecting Hot Toys, they wouldn't know who this is. But compared to other models, maybe like somebody like Asmus or something, you know, they're still kind of in this level. The paint app is still pretty good. It's just the model itself, I think they kind of missed that one. I don't know if you strip down the paint and repaint it, that might look like him. But again, I don't know if anyone's gonna do that, because Spider-Man 3 is not really considered like Dark Knight. You know, it's not something that fans will remember. Actually, I have a feeling that, I don't have a feeling, I kind of know that out of the trilogy, this was the weakest. You know, they make fun of the dancing scenes and all that stuff. So I'll just put him in a few poses before I wrap this thing up, because this is taking way too long for an older figure. You know, here he is holding his board, his snowboard, because he played from the X Games, as you can see from his outfit. He got some elbow pads, and he looks like he's going skiing, and is holding his grenade, kind of like ready to unleash some chaos. You can see the stand right there. That's the transparent pole. Back in the day, I guess they haven't thought about the bendy pole, that accessory, but I okay. And here he is. You know, I'm just putting him in some generic poses here, because I believe I was about to sell this figure when I shot this video. You know, I got him because I bought the Amazing Spider-Man, and I thought, you know, he needs a villain. Electro wasn't there yet back then, and then Electro came, and I sold Electro as well. And I think if I gotta choose between him and Electro, that's a tough choice, because I sold both of them. But if I had to choose one and keep one, I would say Electro, because my Spider-Man, I have the Amazing Spider-Man from that movie. I never had a Spider-Man from Spider-Man 3, either the red or the black one. I just didn't thought it was a good looking figure, in my opinion, back then. You know, like when I started collecting, Amazing Spider-Man 1 was about to come out, and then they were really expensive back then, the Spider-Man 3. So I was like, you know what, I'll pass. And it's a good thing I did. You know, I don't think that figure or this figure, you know, aged well. You know, even though they don't have any counterpart. And when I say that like the Thor, the first Thor, didn't age well, but you know, you can clearly see why, because there's like 7 Thors after him, so you can see the progression. With this guy, there's really not much else to compare with, but other Hot Toys, but you can easily pass on both, honestly. So here he is, guys. So new Goblin. If you're planning to purchase him, well, you can't unless you want to buy it from eBay, but if you want to, he's pretty cheap right now. Just go to eBay. You probably can get him for under $150, maybe even under $120 if you're lucky. But yeah, if you want to purchase other Hot Toys figures, click the link down below. Please go to bigbadtoystore.com. Support those guys. Those guys are great. $4 shipping, and for the most part, no NRD on most of their pre-orders, so you can change your mind in the process if you don't want to. So thank you for watching, guys. Please like my videos, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, share this video, and follow me on Instagram. Visit my Facebook page, and I'll put my Twitter link down below too, even though I don't use it as much. But I want to talk to you guys, and you know, if you have any comments, click the link down below. All right, thank you.